If you've just recently graduated from college, or maybe you've got a child or grandchild that's about to, or maybe just has, I want you to get on the right track financially. What are the 5 biggest financial mistakes that college grads tend to make so that you can avoid them? I've got that and more coming up. The number one phrase uttered in the Korhorn Financial Group office from brand new clients is, I wish I'd have started sooner. And that's rooted in a kind of universal financial feeling of, oh gosh, I wanted to get off to a great start financially. And do you know, if I would have done the right things right away, how much further along I could have been? Well, the truth is, everyone has some financial baggage. Everyone. And you shouldn't be impressed or discouraged by the size of your financial mistakes. Everyone has made them. I've made financial mistakes. I know you have as well. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let the emotions and feelings get in the way of you making your next great financial step and taking your next great step, next wise step even, in your financial life, no matter what has been in your past. But if you can avoid some mistakes along the way or before you make them, you'll be better off. And so therefore, whether you're a college grad listening to this, or maybe you're a parent that has a college grad and you're going to want to share this with them, or maybe grandparent, maybe you've got someone in high school that's about to graduate, maybe someone in college. I mean, these are sort of universal. And the truth is, even if you haven't just graduated from college, but you're not doing these things, this is kind of the roadmap. This isn't like an argument with the 7 baby steps from Dave Ramsey, which from a principal standpoint, fantastic. It's not enough. The 7 baby steps leave out a whole bunch of stuff that you need to have as part of your financial life. These are just common mistakes that people tend to make early in their financial life. I want you to avoid them. What are they? Number 1, and I just did a video about this recently in a real life scenario, is saving too little for retirement. When should you start thinking about retirement? If you start thinking about it too early, you're not going to want to go to work ever. I'm just fantasizing about retirement. I just wish I didn't have to work. But if you think about it too late, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. And saving up for retirement requires that you build wealth. Building wealth is a formula of how much cash times how much risk times how much time, right? You want to feed enough cash, apply risk, so invest it prudently, and do so over a long period of time. Well, you're young, you just graduated from college. Retirement might not be on your mind, but give it enough cash. Give it enough cash. You need to be looking at all 6 areas of your financial life, because if contributing a lot towards retirement early on means you're adding on debt or you're not able to achieve some other goals, I get that. But I'm going to push you as a coach. Your CFP is going to push you as a coach to say, no. You can run faster than that. You can do more push-ups. You can, and if you want to save 5% to your 401k, just start at 15. See what it feels like. Try and live on what's left. You're not going to regret it. And if you do that for 2 years and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't have a life, start ratcheting down from there. But saving too little from the very beginning, because of what it does to that formula for building wealth, it's one of the biggest mistakes people make right out of college. Second, being complacent with debt. How comfortable are you going to get with debt in your life? And I think it's very easy to sort of read other people and say, well, I don't know, they don't seem really disturbed. I know they had some student loans. I know they borrowed to get their car. I know, and listen, you are in the life building stage. So you don't have a lot of resources. You don't have a lot of money. Depending on how you grew up, you might have a ton of student loans. You might have a ton of credit card debt. It might be all debt, and that's okay. The question is, what's your response going to be? And I'm not saying that the response needs to be, woe is me. No. I'm saying the response should be, all right, I'm going after this. I'm going after this. I'm going to sacrifice and get this debt paid off as quickly as possible. You might say, that flies in the face of contributing more. Like, it flies in the face. Number 1 and number 2 are odds. That's why I'm going to tell you every single video, there's 6 areas to your financial life. You need to make sure that you're coordinating all 6, because cash flow can't go a lot to retirement and a lot towards debt. You've got to figure out the right balance for you. I'm just saying, don't be complacent with debt. If you think, and it's one of my favorite stories, our business partner and co-host of our weekly talk show that airs right here on this channel on Saturdays, Josh Gregory, said that when he started in his career, total nerd, and had it all planned out, was telling Kevin, we've got our student loans, we got a plan, we're going to pay those off. I think he said 3 years, 5 years, well before they were supposed to be paid off. And Kevin said, I bet you can do it in 18 months. They weren't doing planning. They were just coworkers. Josh had just started and Kevin just laid down the challenge. You can do it in 18 months. And Josh was like, well, no, I mean, we've got it all sketched out in spreadsheet. And Kevin said, it doesn't matter. What's more important at this stage of life than getting that debt off of you? You're going to be so much more free and have so much more choice. Do everything you can to get that debt off of you. And guess what Josh and Andrea did? They paid it off in 18 months and do not regret it. Don't be complacent with debt. And that, really, both of those guys connect right into number 3, mistake number 3, not building a cash flow operating system. What could be more nerdy than that? Maybe paying off debt aggressively, I don't know. But guys, what I mean, it's not a budget. Yeah, I mean, some people right away budget, right? But having a budget is not enough. It's got to be a cash flow operating system. That's why I say it's so nerdy. You may have learned about budgeting if you took a finance course in high school, personal finance. I know my daughter has to, and I think even my son in middle school, he's taking a personal finance course. Here's the problem. It's all theory. You don't have a job at that point. You don't have expenses. You're not paying rent or the utility bills. And so it's theory at that time. Now is when it becomes reality. You need to build out that budget, but a monthly budget isn't enough because not all of your expenses show up on a monthly basis. Some of them show up every quarter. Some of them show up once a year. Some of them show up every few years. And if your budget only plans for the monthly ones, you are going to take a couple steps forward, feel like I'm doing great. And then you're going to get hit with one of those monthly or quarterly expenses or whatever and be like, oh my goodness, well, I don't have that money. Where's that going to come from? And all of a sudden you get into credit card debt. All of that fits within our 3 bank account system. This is our cash flow operating system that we strongly, strongly recommend. Your monthly expenses fit in your immediate spending, monthly income, monthly expenses. Your delayed spending, bucket number 2, that's your savings account where, all right, what expenses are likely to come up over the next 12 months, but aren't monthly, or maybe even longer than that, and you start setting money aside for those. But then bank account number 3 leads to mistake number 4, and that is not being aggressive building up an emergency fund. That sounds so boring, especially if cash flow is tight, especially if if you're not making a lot of money and you've got expenses for the first time in your life and you're trying to build your life and you've got debt and all that. Why would I build an emergency fund? It's an enormous priority because there's monthly expenses, there's non-monthly expenses, and then there's surprise expenses. No one likes those. Do you have a plan for surprise expenses? And it can't be, even though all of us inevitably start with, I hope I don't have one, right? Until you get the emergency fund built up, it is, I hope it doesn't show up because I'm not prepared. You got to start building that, okay? The longer you wait, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get more irritating as you get longer and you've got more exciting things to do with your finances. You're not going to want to slow down and build that emergency fund. Start building it right away. And then finally, mistake number 5, most common mistake people make financially, right? Getting out of college, not using the Roth. Not using the Roth. And if you're a fan of the Wise Money Show, you knew I was going to say that. It's not one size fits all, but I love the Roth and I really love the Roth when you're young, and I really love the Roth when you're not making a lot of money, but still saving up for retirement. And so why do people make this mistake? Because you don't know. You don't know. No one, you start your first job, you sit down with someone, or maybe you get a link and you sign up for your 401k and no one really tells you the difference. Maybe you've heard a little bit about this, but no one really tells you how this stuff works, because if they told you how the Roth worked, you would say, that's too good to be true. That can't work that way. I'm 21 years old. I'm 22 years old. You mean I'm never going to have to pay tax on this money again? And it's probably going to double 7 times my life and it will all be tax-free? Too good to be true. And yet, that's how it works. And yet, not every college grad is signing up to save into the Roth. You need to, right? I would be throwing your 401k into the Roth 401k and any extra dollars into your Roth IRA, not funding a Roth. That's mistake number 5. All of these mistakes are avoidable. And if I kept going, mistake number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all avoidable by just having maybe even buying an hour of a certified financial planner's time to say, all right, what are the habits, what I need to be aware of? It's the first time I've ever gotten a job and started to make some of these decisions. What should I do? For many people, they're going to ask their parents. You might not have the relationship with your folks where you can ask them. They might not know either. It doesn't even mean you need to have a full financial planning relationship, although that would help. Could just be buying an hour or 2 or having your folks buy an hour or 2 to get the right habits, avoid these mistakes, get on track, and avoid that number one phrase that is uttered, I wish I would have started sooner. Work with your certified financial planner on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with a K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take the next wise step in your financial life.